What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. And with the fallout of Survivor Series, there are so many questions that has gone unanswered, including the question of who's next for Ronda Rousey's SmackDown Women's title, as well as other questions like does Seth freaking Rollins deserve another shot at the United States title, and can anybody even stop the Bloodline? Well, that's what we are about to find out in this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, because in this week's episode I'm going to be giving you guys the full review of Survivor Series 2022 and answer the questions of what could have been. Could things have ended differently? Or could they have remained the same? And who could potentially be next for the title, for championship opportunities? So Survivor Series kicked off. Sorry guys, something got caught in my throat. Anyway, so before I forget, before we get started, if you guys enjoyed this video and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, which get posted every Monday, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And as you guys can tell by my voice, yes, I am back to normal, almost. I think I'm like 90. I think I'm like 93% better, honestly. Still have a cough, but it's not too bad, so I'm okay. I am perfectly okay. But we do gotta talk about Survivor Series, and it kicked off with the women's War Games match between Team Bianca and Team Bayley, which Team Bianca consisted of the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, the Goddess Alexa Bliss, the Empress of Tomorrow Asuka, OC member Mia Yim, and of course the return of the man Becky Lynch. And Team Bayley consisted of all three members of Damage Control, Bayley and the women's tag team champions Dakota Kai and Io Sky, along with Nikki Cross and Judgment Day's Rhea Ripley, which honestly it kind of bugged me a bit that Rhea Ripley was a part of Team Bayley, because if you really think about it, there could have been a fuck ton of other women who would have been more than happy to join Team Bayley, and honestly, it could have been anybody. But yeah, I mean, Rhea Ripley was like the only optimal choice. I mean, with Mia Yim having joined Team Bianca, Rhea Ripley was like, let's go to war. And I'm gonna be honest, this was probably by far one of the only two matches on the card that basically just saved the whole card, because this was literally the most underhyped card we had ever had in quite some time. Obviously, you guys know that I did the results of the show on Saturday. So if you guys have not checked it out, be sure to check it out and then come back here and watch this, because this review might shock you, but basically it started with Bianca Belair and then Dakota Kai, and then of course too, because that Team Bayley got the advantage last week on Raw, Io Sky came in. Then I believe it was Asuka that came in next. Then Then I believe Nikki Cross came in. Then Alexa Bliss. Then Bayley. Then Mia Yim. Then Rhea Ripley, and then Becky Lynch. So it was it was in that order, and this was excuse me. This was basically what War Games was about. It was war. Weapons came in at the hands of Nikki Cross. Tables came in. Trash can lids, trash cans, kendo sticks, chairs. Everything came into War Games, and it was non-stop action. There was even a moment where Nikki Cross was about to handcuff Alexa Bliss to the cage, but Alexa Bliss had other plans and handcuffed her to Nikki Cross, which basically that moment was what gave Team Belair the advantage to potentially get the victory. But this was back and forth. Asuka hit Rhea Ripley with the Mist, which was obviously an homage to the legendary wrestler known as the Great Muta, who will be, I believe, he'll be in his retirement tour this winter. So it'll start during, like, I think in the middle of December, and then it'll continue on to New Year's Day, where he'll do Battle in Japan with Shinsuke Nakamura, which is kind of crazy, don't you think? Which is kind of crazy, if you guys really think about it. But the closing moments of the match, Bayley got hit with the KOD by Bianca Belair. Becky Lynch hit a leg drop from the top of War Games onto the Women's Tag Team Champions, and was able to pick up the victory for Team Belair. And this was an incredible matchup. This, I believe, lasted like almost an hour, if you really think about it. So I guess that was the reason why they only wanted 5 matches on the card. was because they wanted to make I guess room for screen time for the men's and the women's War Games matches. But this was absolutely incredible. I have never seen a War Games match look that incredible. So this is an easy 4 stars. This was basically what you would expect with War Games. And excuse me, this is actually the first time in Survivor Series history that we have not, I believe the first time since 1998, that we have never had a traditional Survivor Series elimination match, which doesn't really surprise me, honestly, because obviously Survivor Series 98, I believe, was the tournament to crown a new WWE champion, if I remember correctly. Let's see. Survivor Series 1998. Let's see. It was known as the It was known as it was called the Deadly Game, and it was basically a one night tournament to crown a new WWE champion. And it's interesting because because if you really think about it, this was actually the match that I believe got The Rock to turn heel. And if you guys don't know about the tournament itself, the first round matches featured Goldust and Ken Shamrock, the Big Boss Man and The Rock, Stone Cold and I guess the Big Boss Man, but Austin was given a bye straight into the second round because The Rock was battling the Big Boss Man. That match only took 3 seconds. 3 seconds, literally 3 seconds was a pin, is what took it. Kind of crazy. Steven Regal, or I guess William Regal, against X-Pac, which ended in a double count out, which was kind of hilarious. Or actually, let me rephrase. Let me rephrase on Stone Cold. It was actually by DQ. It was actually by DQ, and then Austin got a bye into the semifinals. Jeff Jarrett and Al Snow, Dwayne Gill, or I guess Gilbert, and Mankind. And for some reason, originally it was supposed to have been Triple H versus The Rock, but he was injured, and he was replaced by the Big Boss Man. The quarterfinals featured The Undertaker and Kane. I guess it was like a kind of like a last minute deal or something like that. Ken Shamrock and The Rock. Again, Austin given a bye into the quarterfinals, and then Al Snow versus Mankind, which each match ended as follows in the semis: Undertaker and The Rock, Stone Cold and Mankind, and then The Rock and Mankind battled it out in the finals to crown a new champion. Which, I don't know if there was any other matches on the card. Was there a Survivor Series elimination? No, there wasn't. So I'm looking at the full card. Excuse me. And no, there was nothing. So the only 2 matches on the card that were not part of the tournament, it was Sable against Jacqueline for the women's title then at that time the World Wrestling Federation women's title, with Shane McMahon as the guest referee, which made no sense whatsoever. I don't know what happened there, because I didn't watch WWE back then. And then of course too, the New Age Outlaws taking on D'Lo Brown and Sexual Chocolate, Mark Henry, and the Headbangers in a triple threat for the tag titles. Which, it is what it is. And then the other matches we had too much, which were Brian Christopher, who was Jerry the King Lawler's son, or you guys might remember him from the Attitude Era's Grandmaster Sexay, and Scotty 2 Hotty against the Hardy Boys, and then the Job Squad, which was Bob Holly and Scorpio. Or I guess you guys might remember him from ECW as a Too Cold Scorpio. Taking on the Legion of Doom, which was Road Warrior, which was Road Warrior Animal and Droz. And then we have Val Venus taking on Tiger Ali Singh. And then Gangrel taking on Steve Blackman, and then we had that tournament. So yeah, basically this was the only other Survivor Series that didn't feature the traditional Survivor Series elimination match, which I don't really get. But I guess they needed a new WWE champion at that time. But yeah, this War Games match was basically one of only two matches on the card that definitely became the saving grace for the whole card. So this was an easy 4 stars. Next up, we got AJ Styles and Finn Balor in a battle to see who was the better faction leader. Was it AJ Styles and the OC, or Finn Balor and the Judgment Day? And this was basically everything. This was basically everything you would expect to see take place. Oh, right. I completely forgot. I apologize. With the women's War Games match, could it have ended differently? I think if Rhea Ripley were to expose the mist from Asuka and use that to Rhea's advantage, and had Nikki Cross did handcuff Bliss to the cage, then yeah, I could definitely see Bayley hitting Bianca Belair with the Rose Plant and picking up the victory, which that would be one alternate way. Another alternate way would probably have to be Rhea Ripley pinning Asuka. Probably be the only other option, but other than that, there was really no other way the match could have ended other than either that or obviously Team Belair picking up that victory. But as far as this one goes, Styles and Balor, this was basically everything you would expect from a battle between the OC and the Judgment Day. I'm gonna be honest. This was a match that we had been wanting to see for quite a while, and the last time we had this match, I believe it was TLC 2017? Was it? Let's see. Let's see. I want 2017. Let's see. Here we are, 2017. Let's take a look at 2017. The Target Center in Minneapolis. Let's see. I believe this was the card that saw the debut of Asuka. Let's see. Let's see. The kickoff show featured Sasha Banks and Alicia Fox. Asuka versus Emma. Yep, I was right about that. Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander taking on Gentleman Jack Gallagher and Brian Kendrick. And then we had Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James for the Raw Women's title. Enzo Amore and Kalisto for the Cruiserweight title. Finn Balor versus AJ Styles. Yeah, so it was kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy to see that, but yeah, it was one that nobody expected. Never thought we would see AJ Styles show up to a Raw premium live event and do battle with Finn Balor. Who would have ever thought? But that was basically the prelude to Raw being taken under siege, which was kind of crazy. Then of course too we had Jason Jordan versus Elias. I think Jordan is still with WWE, but he's now working as a producer, which is kind of sad. Which is kind of sad because he hasn't wrestled since he suffered that neck injury in 2018. I believe at the Royal Rumble, which was it was just sad because Jason Jordan had so much promise, but it is what it is. And then of course too we had the Shield taking on Braun Strowman, The Miz, Kane, and The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, in a 3-on-5 handicap TLC match, which we never thought we would ever see something like that. 5-on-3, who would have ever thought? But that was basically that. But yeah, Balor and Styles, that was the first time we saw them do battle one-on-one. History repeats itself, but the question becomes, did history really repeat itself in this match as it did with TLC? And the answer is yes, because even though the Good Brothers and Priest and Mysterio were beating the hell out of each other, that didn't stop AJ Styles from hitting Finn Balor with a phenomenal forearm to pick up a victory, and AJ Styles even also applied the calf crusher on Finn Balor, and he was about to tap as well. So it was it was pretty crazy. Oh, my bad. I was wrong. Apparently, Balor defeated Styles in this one, so history did not repeat itself, so I do apologize. But yeah, but again, Styles did beat Balor with a phenomenal forearm, and this was actually the match that AJ Styles needed to win, because he has not won a single match, singles match at a premium live event in 3 years. So this was something that he needed to win, and now AJ Styles proved that he is the better faction leader. So now the question becomes, what's next? Only time will tell. But knowing Finn Balor, knowing Finn Balor, he'll probably say something like, "Oh my God, I lost. AJ cheated. If Rhea Ripley was there, I would have won. Blah blah blah." Just a bunch of excuses, man. We all know that all he's gonna do is just come up with some bullshit excuse, and it's not gonna end so. It's not gonna be pretty. I can tell you that right now. But the question is, could the match have ended differently? Honestly, no. I really don't think so. I think this was. I think the way the match ended was actually meant to happen. But I'm giving this one three stars only because of the fact that even though the OC and the Judgment Day got into a brawl, Finn Balor proved, or actually rather, this match proved that Finn Balor joining the Judgment Day was the worst decision he made, and it's possible that Finn Balor could come back, could become a babyface again, which is a possibility. But again, I am giving this one 3 stars easy, just because it's AJ Styles. AJ Styles always puts on a match that's at least 3 stars or higher, in my honest opinion. But now we gotta move on to the SmackDown Women's Title. Shotzi and Ronda Rousey. This is an easy 1 star. This was this match never should have happened on a premium live event card like Survivor Series, but if I'm gonna be honest, there was really no way Shotzi was gonna win. She had no chance because this is Shotzi had no chance because this is Ronda Rousey we're talking about here. She was gonna win no matter what, just because it's Ronda Rousey. Could there have been any other outcome? No other outcome, and this is a 1-star because this match sucked. Because even though Shotzi did take out Shayna Baszler and basically threw herself into the WWE universe, literally, all Ronda Rousey did was just toy around with Shotzi and just make her, and she literally made her look like a joke. Literally, she made Shotzi look like a joke, which is utter bullshit in my honest opinion. And I think honestly, even if Shotzi did win, it would have been by disqualification because Shayna Baszler would have gotten involved. Plain and simple. But now we move on into the United States title match between Seth freaking Rollins, Bobby Lashley, the almighty Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory. This is one that basically became interesting, I guess you could say. Survivor Series 2022. Survivor Series War Games. Here we are. So to show off the so this was basically literally it was the worst card ever. And as far as this United States title match, this was pretty crazy. Because when you think about it, because if you think about it, Seth Rollins, he always tries his best. He tries his hardest to put on instant classics. You know, no matter how long the match goes, he always tries to put on instant classics. Especially case in point with earlier this year, WrestleMania, he put on an instant classic against Cody Rhodes. Backlash, Cody Rhodes. Hell in a Cell, Cody Rhodes. He put on instant classics with him, and that's what got him over. Excuse me. That's what got him over with the fans and turned him back into a baby face, or so I believe anyway. But this was basically everything you would expect out of a triple threat match. Both Lashley and Rollins, not together but back to back, hit Austin Theory, sending him over the top rope and onto the floor. They were beating the hell out of each other. It was nonstop action. Lashley applied the Hurt Lock onto both men. That got countered. Rollins hit. I believe he hit. I believe he hit. He hit. Excuse me. He hit. I Bobby Lashley with a massive stomp, and then he got hit with a spear. Theory got hit with the spear, and that gave Theory the chance to pin Rollins from out of nowhere to pick up the victory and become a 2-time United States champion. And I'm gonna be honest, this is kind of interesting because the question is, could the match have ended differently? I think if Seth Rollins was able to somehow outmaneuver, both Lashley and Theory, then yeah, you know what? Maybe he could have retained the title, but to be honest, it didn't work out in Seth's favor, and I know for a fact he's going to challenge for that title once again. But this one, I'm gonna give it 3 stars because this was actually pretty crazy. If I'm gonna be completely honest, this was pretty crazy. But now we gotta move on to the men's War Games match, which featured Team Reigns, or I guess the Bloodline, and the Brawling Brutes. The Bloodline consisted of the undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, the Honorary Uce, Sami Zayn, the Enforcer of the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, and the undisputed tag team champions, the Usos, taking on the Brawling Brutes, which featured Sheamus, Ridge Holland, Butch, and Honorary Brawling Brute members, Drew McIntyre, and Kevin Owens. And what you guys are about to hear will shock you, because it started with Jey Uso and Butch. Because Butch and Kevin Owens know War Games better than any new War Games, better than any other person that was in this match. Now you would think that Jimmy Uso, because so with this, because that the Brawling Brutes gained the War Games advantage, Ridge Holland ended up showing up next, and then of course Sami Zayn came in. But you guys are wondering, wait a minute, wasn't Jimmy Uso supposed to go next? Aren't they tag team champions? Yes, but Roman Reigns wanted Sami Zayn to get in for 2 reasons. One, because he needed to make sure that Jey Uso would be willing to coexist with Sami Zayn, but also number two, he needed to know if Sami Zayn was loyal to the Bloodline, which I didn't blame him. I don't blame Roman Reigns for that one, but it is what it is. So Butch, Jey Uso, Ridge Holland, Sami Zayn, I believe Sheamus, Solo Sikoa, Drew McIntyre, and then I believe yeah, I don't remember. I hold on. I gotta try and remember. Butch and Jey Uso started the match. Then it became Ridge Holland, Sami Zayn, Sheamus, Jimmy Uso, Drew McIntyre, Solo Sikoa, Kevin Owens, and then Roman Reigns. That was the order that basically got the War Games match to start. This was pure dominance. I'm gonna be honest. This was pure dominance by the Bloodline. This was absolutely insane. Tables were had came in, chairs came in. This was probably one of the most horrendous men's War Games match I had seen ever. This was pure dominance. And the closing moments of the match, Sami Zayn pledged his loyalty to the Bloodline by hitting Kevin Owens with a low blow, and then offered him as a sacrifice for Jey Uso to hit the splash and pick up the victory for the Bloodline. And now he's recognized as the full-blown Uso. But the question becomes, could the match have ended differently? I think if Sami Zayn did turn his back on the Bloodline, then you know what? Maybe Team Sheamus might have had a shot, but who knows? But the question now becomes, what's next? What's next for the Bloodline? Who's next for the Usos? Who's next for Roman Reigns? And can anybody at all stop the Bloodline? Honestly, I really don't think there's anybody else. They've already beaten everybody that there is to beat. Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, they've beaten everybody. So there's really nothing left for them to do now. But the question does also become as well, who's next for Roman Reigns' undisputed Universal title? Honestly, given the history that Reigns and Owens have, I think it's going to be Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens is going to be the guy to challenge Roman for the title, but it's going to end the exact same way, in my honest opinion. I think there's not a single person that can beat that can defeat Reigns or the Usos. I really don't think there is. But this matchup, I'm giving this one four stars. This may have been a brutal matchup, but this was dominance by the Bloodline. And another question becomes, can Roman Reigns really trust Sami Zayn? I mean, we'll have to find out. Within the next couple months, because with the Royal Rumble coming up soon, it's basically now or never for Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens is right. The Bloodline could potentially turn their back on Sami Zayn, which is possible. But I'm giving this one 4 stars, and overall this whole card not too shabby. I'm gonna be honest. Both War Games matches pretty much saved this whole card. So as far as who can take the title off of Ronda Rousey, it has to be Becky Lynch. There's been rumors going around saying that they're going to change up the draft to sometime in the next couple weeks. From what I've been hearing, there's been rumors that Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are going to be going to SmackDown. So if that is the case, only person that can beat Ronda Rousey at her own game is Becky Lynch. But as far as the undisputed tag titles go, there's nobody that can beat the Usos. Maybe Imperium, if booked right, but there's no shot. But overall, this card was actually not too bad. I'm gonna give this one. Give the whole card 3.5 stars in my honest opinion. But that brings me to the question of the day. Who can stop the Bloodline? That's the question of the day. Who can stop the Bloodline? And who do you think is going to be the guy to break Roman Reigns' record as Undisputed Universal Champion? Let me know down in the comments below, and that will do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, which get posted every Monday, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on my social media. Links will be in the description below. as will the info to my fan mail. My fan mail info will be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.